How's everybody doing out there today? Thank you for being here. I appreciate it very much. This is a show called The Rat Chat, not to be confused with the Snitch Chat. It's a whole other show. What we do over here is we bring in different artists, different people with different stories, mostly in the creative realm, because that's really what I'm interested in. I want to talk to people who have experienced things that maybe I haven't experienced yet, or maybe they've experienced some things that I will never experience, but I want to get their point of view on things. So that's what I'm here to do. This is kind of a different day. I actually have a guest staying with me, and you know what? This looks so great in the background, but I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that because it's really killing that. So today, I have a house guest, and we've been in here making music. We've been in here vibing out, getting to know each other, and he's my guest this week. So if you're here to see the guy, the man, I'm going to bring him to you right now. Say hello to Gamma Pie.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, Gamma? How are you doing, my friend?
I am doing well.
Yeah. You're still good from just like 3 seconds ago?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
No changes.
No changes. Good deal. So, yeah, this is going to be cool. I'm excited because, we've had a lot of talks about things, and I think that people can share some of that insight that we've, come to have after, talking about direction that you might be going in, some other things happening. You've got your Spotify stuff. You've got a YouTube channel that you've been working on. You may have something else you want to talk to us about. So yeah, why don't you just give us a little history lesson of how did you get started into music, or where did this passion for music production come from?
Well, I'll take it all the way back.
Yeah, do that.
From the beginning. Started out as, a guy, like any other guy. And I started out by listening to music. And I'm a kind of person that listens to various types of music. I listen to pretty much everything. Of course, hip hop was like a big staple when I was a kid because you may not know it, but I'm on the older side. So I was around pretty much at the beginning when hip hop gained its popularity, and it was brand new. So I came in and I was like, this hip hop thing, and I'm talking about hip hop. I'm talking about Houdini. I'm talking about Roxanne Shante. I'm talking about the real Roxanne. I'm talking about UTFO. Who else? I'm talking about Run DMC from the beginning, from the jump. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. All of this stuff was new when I was a kid. So I started listening to this new stuff. And of course, you memorize the lyrics. But one thing I wasn't focused on was the beats. Of course, the beat sounded dope. But I was all about the lyrics and the lyrical delivery. Progress on another 10 years. I get into house music, start listening to house music, and I'm like, okay, this is something new. Still listen to hip hop, but house music I added into the mix. I come from a background where my mom, she was a gospel singer, and in my house there was gospel playing, or there was country playing, country music, or my dad, he was a jazz fan, so he listened to jazz. So those were my options listening to music as a kid. So pretty much I just gravitated towards what I liked, like many of us do. But some of us have influences from older siblings and cousins and whatnot. So, of course, I had that too. The guys in the neighborhood. Remember the first time hearing LL Cool J radio. I remember the first time I heard, wow, what is it? I'll come back to it in a second because there's so much. But back to the story. started listening to house music. I was around 17 at this time or so, and house music was like a new thing to me then. Progressed on, I joined the military. Went into the Air Force after high school, and went to college for a year and a half, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to do something different, and I joined the military. My parents were against it, but
they were?
Yeah, that broadened my horizons. It broadened my horizons, and musically as well, because I started interacting with people. You never know what might happen in the Rat Chat.
That's
so
right.
You got to watch it. Met different people, all different walks of life, different races, creeds, and people from different countries even. So doing that, I was drawn into like dance music and DJ culture.
Okay.
So I was telling Will earlier, we were talking earlier this week, and I was like, the producer Moby was a huge influence because the sounds that he was coming out with, what he was making, I was like, man, I want to do that. And at the time, getting into the production game was like expensive. And I was like, I don't have the funds for this. So I went to Radio Shack and I got a mixer, just a simple DJ mixer. I think it had 2-3 channels, something like that. And I hooked up my cassette player to one side, and I hooked up a CD player to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going back and forth, and I was like, you know what, this DJing thing, just works. So parties, things like that. I would DJ parties here and there for friends, but I mean, I was really not that good at it. But I was the guy who could do it. I had the mixer. So
well, there's like a huge step between not knowing how to do anything and knowing how to do something.
Yeah.
So like, if you don't know how to do anything, the person that can do something seems like
yes, he's like
the god.
He can DJ.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah, I started doing that and stayed in the military. Stayed in active duty for 4 years, and then I got out and joined the reserve. So I was in the reserve. So I was still around people, and move on about another 10 years from that.
Mm-hmm.
I started working at a new company in the private sector once I got out of the military, and my reserve hitch was done. And my friend, he was a DJ, and he was like, yeah, a DJ. And I was like, wow. He's like, hey, you want to come on to watch one of my gigs? I was like, yeah, I'll come. So I went to one of his gigs, and I was like, man, this is great. And he's the one who got me into the biz of DJing.
Okay.
And I was DJing for a company called Music in Motion. And I did pretty much everything: weddings, neighborhood socials. I did school events, did bars, did clubs, whatever was around. I was DJing. I was doing maybe 50 to 60 events a year. And that's like working every weekend in addition to like my full-time clip.
Okay.
Did that for a while, and I got to the point of I would listen to music and I would be like, you know what? I like this song, but instead of doing this, I would have done that. Instead of doing this, I would have done that.
Yeah.
So after doing that for a while and saying, you know what? I can, how do you do this? And at this time, there's tools available to get into the game. So about, I guess, 6 years ago now,
mm-hmm.
I decided that I would take up music production, and I'm going to learn how to make dance music and hip hop. So that's what led me into actually beat making and making music. Picked up a copy of Ableton. Liked what it did. I was garbage at it when I first started. So anybody out there, if you're just starting, just keep practicing, you'll get better. And started doing that, and then truly fell into the hole and fell in love with it. Fell in love with it from the beginning. and then fell into that rabbit hole that anybody who makes music, they know what we're talking about.
Right.
And flash forward 6 years, I'm in the Rat Chat at Will's.
Yeah.
In the studio.
And I appreciate you for being here. You came a long way.
Yeah. I mean, we've been trying to get this together since the spring.
I would say the beginning of spring.
I just didn't have time in the schedule from other stuff going on, and finally, Will asked me to do the Rat Chat, and I was like, you know what? This is a perfect time right now to actually take a trip. So,
and your wife was awesome because she took it in her own hands and helped make it happen.
She booked the tickets the next day after I talked to her about it, and here we are.
And this is awesome. Yep. So they showed up here, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago, and it's been great. So Gamma is the first official producer, artist, to ever be in the studio. So it's real cool. And number one.
You
first
can be
guy.
Second, but you can't be
first now. Yep. It's taken. And maybe you'll be the second too. Who knows?
Yep.
But I'd love to do this more. I would love to be able to have more people come up.
Hey guys, we're in Maine right now.
We're in Maine.
Beautiful, beautiful scenery.
Thank you.
Lots to see.
Thank you.
If you're thinking like, what am I going to do in Maine? Once you come to Maine, you'll actually see.
And there's benefits to having no distractions.
Yes.
So you get in here and do what you want, putter around, there's tons of stuff to use and learn and play with, and he actually brought up an idea, a concept that at first I heard it in passing. I'm like, yeah, that's funny. Haha. But the more I thought about it, he was talking about a bed and breakfast type thing for producers, for artists, for people that want to collaborate. So I have a little spot up front, and I've got room, so we can do multiple people here. And so we need to get people in the chat to stay connected so that we can all join forces out here, make some good vibes. It's more of a community type thing. So it's not about, we're trying to hit the pavement here with some crazy releases, or some crazy huge projects. It's more about community. It's more about finding like-minded people and just enjoying yourself.
And I mean, I came into this with no preconceived notions, and we've been just jamming out, having fun, and we didn't come in to do anything specifically dead serious. We just came into the studio, and we've just been jamming out.
Yeah, because we've got the ability
to develop.
Yeah, we got the ability to shoot stuff here. I've got cameras set up most of the time, so it's pretty cool. And man, I couldn't thank you more.
Yeah, thank you, man. Hospitality.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Great. So let's talk about family life a little bit.
Yep.
So how many kids does Gamma Podz have in the household?
I have 5 daughters. So
okay.
My house is hectic. Music production at my house is basically when I can get it in, noise free.
Right.
Or late at night, early in the morning when it's just me. So, I mean, this is a great experience for me to be away from like distractions and noise. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's definitely not a lot like, we don't really have a lot of traffic out here. We don't have a lot of places to go and see. It's basically you come up here, there might be some spots to go check out, but for the most part, we're up here making music and just hanging out. So, now you're in South Carolina.
Yep.
And you're still doing DJing, you said. Periodically.
I still do it periodically. I'm nowhere at the pace I used to be.
Yeah.
I slowly declined in what I was doing. I mean, I went from like doing 50 to 60 gigs a year to maybe 30 gigs a year to 15 to 5. And if I get 5 in a year now, I'm good. I can do more, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of work setting up, breaking down, and actually doing the work. And basically, what I do is I do like weddings and school events specifically. So I play hip hop a lot, but it's clean,
Yeah.
clean hip hop for the kids. I mean, I have my own children, and I
Turn
try
that mess
to
down.
stress to them to
Yeah.
hey man, but I mean, I'm still equipped and capable of going out at a moment's notice and actually setting up and playing. So I still do it, but now my passion is not DJing. My passion is making music.
Okay, so now, also I want to tell everybody that's here, if you want to know more about Gamma's music, there's links in the description. You can go and find his Bandcamp. You can find his Spotify, and there will be other links to more content that's going to be coming soon. And maybe we can get Gamma to tell us a little bit about what he's thinking.
Yeah, even if you if you just Google Gamma Podz, Podz, you'll find something by me or a link to get to music that I made. So right now, I don't have any projects in the works at all. I produce still pretty much, if not daily, I produce weekly. Whenever I get into the studio, I actually just knock out something. And I just may knock it out for my own personal gratification and not to release to anyone.
So you're still being creative.
I'm still being creative. I can't stop it. And we were talking earlier, Will's a woodworker. I'm a woodworker as well. So I'm creative in lots of different areas. So if I'm not being creative in one way, I'm being creative in a different way. I guess it's just something where I have to be using my hands or using my mind to actually to spit out or
you want to see something that you've put together, whether it's in your ears or visually. You have to be a creator.
Yeah, I have to create.
Yes, and I totally understand that premise. It's like my life feels like I'm always, even if I just need to do something simple, I got to make it a huge, project. Oh. I mean,
even stuff like this. I'm like, I did this myself. I did this myself. So just something I'm always creating. I mean, I remember back 20 years ago, people would see me wearing my necklaces and stuff that I made. They were like, hey, can you make me one? So I was always doing something creative. Painting. I did a bit of painting. Lots of art as far as on clothing. I used to do art on clothing. Tried to airbrush, all kinds of different things. So I mean, always creative in some way. But as for right now, my man Will, just watching him and actually getting to know him, he's been inspiring me to actually step out of my comfort zone. If you know Gamma, you don't see Gamma on video very often, or if at all.
That's right.
So
a lot of you guys.
Yes, I actually want to step out of my comfort zone and get into doing something live. And if not doing it live, doing something where you see me actually
real time.
Yeah, real time in the studio. You might see what I'm doing. But I'm starting a new channel on YouTube called Gamma Jams. I don't have anything as of yet because it's a new concept and I'm developing it. But I hope to have content coming by the end of January. So it's something I've got planned for the new year. So stay tuned.
We'll make that happen before too long.
Yes,
guaranteed.
I got some ideas of stuff that I want to do. And of course, I mean, a project may develop out of this trip because I mean, I've got photos, all kinds.
Yeah, we've been taking tons of video.
Yeah, tons of video.
Yep.
So, I mean, you find inspiration everywhere. So. Yep.
So and we can do things now like we never used to be able to do. Yep. If you tuned in last week, You saw the stream era concept. You saw, and Gamma was there through that whole process too. He's always been kind of just at the end of my phone, just to shoot ideas off of. And this concept is going to be able to bring us all closer together. And there's other levels to this. There's the video process. We can actually shoot multiple angles for this type of stuff, like remotely. So somebody has an idea for a little video, they got some equipment, hit me up, because I can produce your multi-camera live stream from my home. So it's going to be something that we're going to have to check out. We're going to have to test the waters on that.
Yep.
So yeah, and so we had actually put down a few things here to discuss, and one thing that really was very interesting when you first got here.
Mm-hmm.
I asked you about Nightfall,
mm-hmm.
and because it's a very cohesive project, and one of the things that you mentioned was that it was very taxing.
Mm-hmm.
It was extremely hard on you.
Very difficult. For me, I make tracks like nobody's business. I can knock a track out, and it's not that much of a big deal for me to knock out a track. But as many of you know, to put a project together and have it be a cohesive project, it is a task for some of us. And putting together Nightfall and pretty much any of my projects is taxing. And sometimes it gets me to the state of where I'm stressed out and I'm depressed because it's not coming together like I want it to come together. But I mean, I think all of us experience that in some way, shape, or form.
Definitely.
But as far as Nightfall, I was telling them about the project and what led to the project. And in Nightfall, what I tried to do is take a group of instruments and just keep the group of instruments throughout the whole project and concept. And a couple of the tracks were a little bit more difficult than the others, but overall, I think it came out pretty good. And if you listen if you listen to any of my music, you'll hear that I change it up. I change up styles. I change up everything because I want to see what I can actually accomplish. Like, can I do this? Can I do that? But it's gotten a bit easier to make a project. I'm more of an EP person. I can 3 or 4 tracks together. I can do that. When you come to like putting together like 10, 12 tracks, it becomes something totally
that's
beastly to me. But
that I mean, I haven't been through that process for a very specific reason. I don't have the attention span for it. And I commend anybody that, and really, it's not really ever was really a goal for me to make full albums. I really wanted to, when I started actually producing tracks, like in the, traditional way, I really just wanted to see if I could do it, see if I could actually put together content that wasn't getting booed. Really, that was, I didn't have any huge, fantasies about any of that stuff. Really, I always wanted to be a real time. That's what I've always done, is try to do stuff in a live environment.
And I'll tell you, it's a lot more difficult than it looks.
It absolutely. I think people don't really. It's hard to get enough equipment to really test that theory, But how do you feel about that? Like, how do you feel about having a lot of stuff to, have at your fingertips?
It's great to be able to move around the studio and move to different pieces of equipment, a luxury that I don't have in my own space, that I'll be trying to develop and make it more of a user-friendly environment to where I'm able to move to a piece of equipment or move to another piece of equipment to bang out a sound that I want.
It's a completely different approach.
Yeah. And you don't quantize for the most part.
No, I do not.
At all.
Nothing is quantized. Absolutely nothing.
So I mean, that even makes it more difficult, because then when you're hitting different
It's locked.
Yeah,
It's locked into audio.
So you pretty much got to be on point, or you're going to be like out of time.
And that can be cool sometimes too.
Yeah, well,
but
when it's like dragging and you got that out of time swing going, it's great. But you got it's a fine line
hitting that looper, hitting that looper right on time, or hitting those transitions. That's the thing that I'm trying to work through right now. Is I'm able to build a track in about 7 minutes. That's too long for somebody watching on YouTube. They want to watch it in about 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So if I miss one transition, it goes from an 8-bar loop to a 16-bar loop because I got to wait for it to come all the way back around. If you do that twice, now you've just extended the thing by 2 minutes. So, I'm trying to get it down under 4 or 5 minutes, and I'll get there. It's a process. It's a process. But yeah, setting up live, live jams or whatever is it's. I think it's similar to building the track the traditional way. You're getting your parts and your pieces together, and you're kind of trying to make it cohesive. But it is definitely a different way of thinking about things. So, I appreciate you trying it. I was excited to see you over here giving it a go. And I got some video too. If you'll let me show it, we'll one day we'll have to.
Yeah, we'll hook it up. Yeah.
So okay. So Nightfall, I want to because there are so many good tracks. If you go and check out Spotify, you check out Nightfall. Beacon is just, I don't know what it is about that track. I don't know where you thought to pull inspiration from. I've heard the track.
I can actually tell you exactly where the idea from Beacon
Please do.
originated. Well, when I was making Beacon, I was thinking like, okay, there's a large group of people, and if you know anything about Gamma Podz and what my name and symbol and everything represents, everybody knows that gamma has a frequency. Gamma frequency is in the low range. I love bass. So the gamma frequency, I believe, is like from I think 40 to 100 hertz is where the gamma frequency
okay,
lies.
I didn't know that.
So the in the spectrum of that, I'm like, okay, what is it in the range of 40 to 100 hertz? I'm like, that's your bass for the most part, your lows. So gamma. Also, I work in the X-ray field. So it was a dual meaning. I was like, okay, gamma. I work with X-ray equipment. Also, the pod is the encapsulated space where gamma exists.
Okay.
So there's a gamma, and I'm in the pod. So gamma pods.
Okay.
Pods of gamma. Now, to take it further, my symbol is 2 triangles connected, which symbolize connection. In the middle is gamma, which is me. So basically, I wanted to make music to connect people. So I want to connect people through my music. And Beacon was a track where I said, how do I connect people to my music? I want to connect these people to my music. Let's make a beacon to bring everybody in to my music. And that's where Beacon came from. The idea for Beacon came from. When it came down to just formulating the track, I just started out with a chord progression and built from a chord progression onto the final track. And if you listen to it, you may be able to hear it. If you've actually worked with the production equipment, you may be able to hear the progression of the track and how it
oh yeah, I can hear. I think my favorite part of that, and actually that whole project has a lot of cohesion. There's a lot of similar principles throughout the whole project. And thank God that's what I look for. Like the that one thing that, like, I don't know, how do you describe something that is in tune, but it fades from in tune and out of tune and comes back? How do you describe that?
I don't know.
It's hard to describe.
Yeah, it's hard to describe. Just what I feel at a particular moment, or when I'm doing stuff like that. I'll
You look for that, like me. That's
I was like, how can I make this like different, where people are going to be like, you know what, that's really different.
yes, yeah.
So I mean, I think I accomplished it different. Whether people gravitate towards it is up to the personal taste of that person. But
The more ears that hear it, the more people will gravitate towards it too.
True,
I mean,
true.
My wife loves that album. I mean, she shares it with people.
She's telling me
she loves it. She loves it.
Yep.
And yeah, man, imagine if we can come up with something similar vibe in a live environment. Yesterday we had this piece of garbage.
Truly.
So this came from Walmart, Goodwill. This came from Goodwill. And so we were using this to build tracks the first day he got here. And then we were with all this stuff, we're using this because this is what we gravitate towards.
The worst piece of equipment in the studio.
That's right.
Yes.
And I'm going to be able to make a video out of that. But there's this little thing in the back here. So this little thing in here is a little, it's a manual tune control. It doesn't give you much. It gives you, I don't know, like maybe 2 semitones, possibly.
About 2 semitones.
So as I'm over here triggering a loop, I'm seeing him like he's like hovering over this thing, and he's like, and I'm hearing these sounds coming out of it, and he stuck something inside of that thing and was twisting it, making it oscillate, and it doesn't even have any oscillate. It doesn't have anything. So that's that creative, and we've had some kind of, in my mind, some kind of like weird coincidences and stuff that we've come to find out about each other, our households, the way our wives are. Like, it's so weird when you haven't been around somebody, but then you get around them and you're like, wow,
this person's really similar to.
We have a lot of similar interests, and I guess that reflects the music that you make and why I like it. And so that's really cool. And how do you deal with beat block? Like, if you ever have that moment where something's just not flowing, I mean, have you had that?
I think it's I have had it. I think it's relative for every producer or every music maker, beat maker, musician. Every creative has some kind of obstruction in their way. For me, it's not so much not being able to make beats; it's being able to make what I want. Because I mean, I can make a beat, but it might not be what I want. I'm not a trained musician at all, so sometimes it's hard for me to play what I can hear in my head. And basically, every track that I've made, it's not perfect to what I hear in my head. So when I get to that point, I'll be like, I've achieved the success that I really wanted to achieve. When I can actually spit out what's in my head and have you hear it exactly the way I hear it in my head.
I have yet to be able to do that.
Yes. I mean, I guess it's a process. And I'm not sure whether not being musically trained will ever be able to do it in exactly the way that we hear it.
I got some weird stuff in my mind, so I don't know. Look at this. You see what people are writing, man? So Kanan says, genius, bro.
Thanks, bro.
Yep. And so, we got people in here. This is my boy JT, this best man at my wedding. He lives. He's living Midwest right now, but he was down in the Virginia area. My mom's in here, so we've got all kinds of people in here, and I appreciate everybody for being here. And
thanks, people.
Very interesting guy. So it's great. It's great to hear about your process and the things that you go through to make the music that you make.
So, inspiration for like music can come from anywhere, and for me, it comes from all different sources. I go on music binges where I'll just listen to like different types of music, and I'll let this little secret out of the bag. My guilty pleasure is new wave 80s music. So I listen to a lot of new wave '80s. I love that, like bands like Kajagoogoo,
Okay.
Flock of Seagulls, all this stuff. I listen to a lot of this stuff. So being in this synth area is really
Hey,
a treat.
that is the age of the synth, right there.
That was the synth's heyday.
I know, and the bands now like who produced the theme song to Stranger Things, Survive.
Yeah.
They use strictly hardware.
Mhm.
They don't record anything. They go on stage with their hardware and do use arpeggiators and all that stuff.
That's my next phase. I want to start using hardware because up to this point I've been mainly a software producer. I want to be a hardware producer and add that into my my mix bag. So I have like more weapons in the arsenal, so to speak.
And he went and got something just before he came, just to start brushing up on his chops.
And now I'm addicted.
Yeah. Oh, don't let your wife see this.
Yes.
Man. All your guys' wives are gonna hate me, I swear. But just let them come. They meet my wife, then everything will be okay.
Yep.
That's how it'll work.
Yep.
So yeah, and you taught me a couple things about this. The Volca.
Yeah.
The Volca series.
Yeah.
Cool little synth.
And for people who I mean, synthesizers can cost
a lot,
but these Volcas will get you into the game for pretty much the lowest cost you can.
About $100.
Yeah, about $100 you can get into the game. You can find one used or pre-owned for around $70 to $100.
Maybe we can do a live thing either today or tomorrow using Volca and maybe another little synth and do a little jam session type thing.
That can work.
Nothing serious, but we got the ability.
Just to show people the capabilities.
Just to show people what it can do.
Machine,
yeah, a couple of them. I think that would be cool. So, all right, let's see what else we got over here for questions. Let me see if anybody's got any questions for you. Anybody out there got any questions? Oh, my bro's in here. What up, bro? I want to know if anybody in here has got any questions for Gamma. If you do, he'll see it because I can't see it. So all right, cool. Looks like we're good right now.
Okay.
All right, so let's see some of the other stuff here. What is your favorite tempo? Now, we know what you make.
Yeah.
What's your favorite tempo?
If you listen to anything I made, the tempos are everywhere. They're all over the place. But me, like 130, 134 is really like a really comfortable place for me to be. Because I mean, your half speed is about 70.
Yes. Yep.
So
you're in both places at once,
65,
really.
70. You're right in that range. So it works for like a variety of different types of music. Because I mean, I make what might be called down tempo, hip hop, various types of hip hop.
Oh, don't say that word.
Trap is in the mix there too. And I'm not a trap producer by any means, but I mean, some of the stuff sounds in that vein.
Yeah. I think I've been accused of having that sound every now and then too.
Yeah, electronica in general, I make. So it just depends on how I feel at that particular moment, what comes out.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. So let me see. All right. The benefits. So my man, JT, are you still in here? Let's see if he'll reply. The benefits of quiet reflection.
The benefits of quiet reflection. Silence. Sometimes I commute to work. My commute's about 20 minutes to work. And sometimes I'm in dead silence. And that's when ideas pop into my head usually.
Okay.
When I'm in complete quiet. So people who meditate, they might understand. Clear your mind. If you can clear your mind and get it to that point, sometimes an idea will pop in and it'll be like a truly good idea. So I'm a kind of person who silence is a solitude for me because as you guys may have heard earlier, I live in a house with 6 women, my wife and 5 daughters. So it's usually never quiet in my house until about 1 o'clock in the morning or so. Then it's finally quiet. So I do appreciate my silent time because it lets me actually download, I guess, stuff that might be like stuck in there that might otherwise get lost in the noise.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know whether it will work for everybody, but for me, like total silence, no music, just maybe like nature sounds is the only thing that's going to be there, like the leaves rustling or.
You put some of that stuff in your tracks?
Yeah, I do. I put like undertones in there. I mean, you can hear it in some tracks if you listen real hard. But like just people and environmental noise in the background. Just something.
That's great.
Something to fill the space.
Earthy.
Yes.
My yoga instructor buddy says facts.
Mm-hmm.
Your quiet meditation is absolutely. I need to do some more of this. I'm like super. You've seen me, man. I'm super like.
Yeah. You're me times 10.
Yeah, I'm a go guy.
I mean, until I got here, I'm a hyper person at times.
You thought you were,
but Will is like 10 times more hyper than
yeah. I don't really sleep much. I mean, you can see it. It's one of those things.
So we share insomnia, but
yes,
it's like I'm like moving like this during my insomnia periods, and he's like,
yeah, I'm going. That's what snaps me out of it. If I can get going, I'm good to go. So, all right. I was gonna ask you if you were gonna pick one of your favorite tracks that somebody wouldn't assume from you out of, let's say, okay. Do you listen to much current music?
Not much now. The only reason I really listen to a lot of current music is just to stay current in case I'm doing a gig or something, because you have to be up on the new stuff, so to speak.
Did you tell me already your favorite track?
My favorite
if you
track,
had to pick one.
If I had to pick one track that I made, well, can I give you 2?
You can give me 2. Give me 2.
Let's see. Mind Inside Mind. And for sonic reasons, there's a lot, but I mean, I listen to like some tracks of mine like over and over.
Explain that.
Then others, like
Explain that.
Just the process of making it. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to like making stuff, and I listen to it over and over, sometimes 50, 60, 70 times.
Wow.
Just to like doctor it and say, okay, I need to take this out. Okay, no, I need to add this. Or
so, what about once it's posted?
Once it's posted, I will listen to it, and I like to listen to my music because I want to hear my music with other stuff. So
yeah,
and that was one of the reasons why I actually started posting on Spotify.
Okay.
So I could actually hear my music in real time
against others.
Because I like to listen to tracks while I drive. So
I do too.
Yeah,
definitely. So that's one.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm going to actually let's see. What do I actually really vibe with? And lately, the latest track I've been listening to is a track called Sky off my new project. That's the one I've been listening to the most lately. But if you take it overall, it's Mind Inside Mind. I listen to Beacon every now and then because of the way it rolls.
Those are the two that I would.
Yeah.
Anybody that wants to hear two iconic Gamma Podz tracks, in my opinion, Mind Inside Mine and Beacon.
Also, I'm gonna go ahead and pick one more.
Yeah, go ahead, pick yourself. You can pick as many as you want, man.
Let me just go through.
It's your show.
And actually see what I've been vibing with most lately, because I've changed a lot over the past year or so. So
how about we listen to Mind Inside Mine?
Yeah.
You want to listen to that? You got your headphones on?
Yep.
All right, let's see if I can play this through the stream. This might be a bad idea. Hang on.
Achieving goals and turn your dreams into reality.
Mind inside mind. Mind inside mind. Mind. Mind inside mind. Mind inside mind. Inside mind.
Those claps.
Yeah. Layered over the other snare. Happy accident.
Happy accidents.
Gamma.
This is my favorite part. Love that.
Gamma.
Cool. Yes, sir.
And guys, I do not play keys.
He does not play keys.
That was done with the mouse, and I programmed it in, and I tried to humanize it as much as possible. And I think I did okay.
Yeah, you did well.
Yeah.
You did well. That's, what I remember when I first checked you out after being on CMA, and I've shown a couple other CMA guys in here, and when I came across that track, I just thought to myself that you must have been going through something when you made that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was really heavily into like self-improvement and the subconscious, and controlling the subconscious, or trying to control the subconscious to actually bring out things in myself that I may not be aware of.
Okay.
On the surface. So, I mean, just delving into that part of the mind was what I was doing at that particular time. Is why the track, I was like, you know what? This will be a track to let people know what kind of vibe I'm on right now. And that's where that track originated. I was like, found the clip, and I was like, well, this is perfect. And with the clip first, I developed the track around the clip.
Okay.
The vocal clip that I used. And that was a CMA weekly homework assignment. That one track was the Mind Inside Mind.
That was a week's work.
A weekly homework assignment. Yeah, did it in a week. what you hear on Spotify, I did go back and
Touch it up a bit.
touch it up and try to mix it a bit better because I mean you need more time sometimes
Yeah.
to mix. Also, shout out CMA and Tashir
Shout out
and
CMA.
the whole
Absolutely.
community. I mean,
I wouldn't have
nothing,
met any of you
Yes.
guys
nothing
without
but
CMA.
supportive, and I wouldn't have progressed this far. I don't think without CMA and the weekly homework assignment. Weekly homework assignment actually honed my craft, producing from several different genres and the ideas and concepts that Tashir gave us. I mean, I owe a great part of my success to the community and Tashir.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tashir. Thank you.
Thank you, Tashir. Absolutely. You know, we had student on last week.
Yep.
And, you know, student says the same thing. You know, everything that he has, he owes to
Yep.
CMA and Tashir.
Yeah.
And so, you know,
guys, check out CMA.
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you can learn. I learned, and I'm a product of CMA because 2 months after I picked up Ableton, I joined CMA.
CMA is Computer Music Academy. So you want to look on YouTube or Google Computer Music Academy.
Yes.
You'll find a website. You'll also find a YouTube channel. You can go and look at students' channel. Students' last video last week. There's some information about CMA in there. And I'll also put it in here.
Mhm.
So people, you know, if you watch on playback, it'll be there. So, yeah. And a lot of really dope artists. Great.
Yep.
It's underground. You know, it's really like an underground haven,
Mhm.
really, for producers.
Yeah.
You know, everybody that comes through the CMA program is really like people that are looking at historical hip hop in like this glorified sense, and they want to help preserve a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's terrific, man. Man, was there anything else? I mean, we've gone all over the map here, hitting on all kinds of different things.
If there's any questions that anybody may have, I mean, I'll answer to the best of my ability. Other than that, where should we take it, man?
Anywhere.
Yeah.
You got another track you want me to play?
Let's see. I did not bring anything new that I'm working on with me here because I just wanted to see what happened once I got here. But a track that's posted, go to Bandcamp and go to the track Rescue Me. And that track is basically one of my favorites too because of how easy it came to me. It just came out like wow, where did that come from?
Okay.
And
We listened to that yesterday.
Yeah,
I think,
it's got to be one of my favorites of all time because of how easy it was. Maybe not necessarily for the sound quality, but I know what it took me to actually make it.
Right.
And I was like,
you were invested in it
I was
heavily.
like, I was like, you know what? That came out like a track I think is supposed to come out of you.
And you used some inspiration. You used
I started out with a fifth chords, and I started playing fifth chords and got the chord pattern. And you can hear that they're fifths or sevenths. I can't tell you because a real musician will tell me exactly what I was doing.
Right.
But I can't tell you exactly what I was doing. I can show you.
What was the name of the young kid? There was a young kid that you really enjoyed his music and
Sam Gellatry.
Okay.
If you listen to Sam Gellatry,
I'm gonna put him in the description too, so you can get an idea of some of the stuff.
That guy is amazing with it. Especially if you like what I do, you listen to him and you'll be like, wow.
You can see that there's a definite inspiration there for sure.
He inspires me to be able to do what he does. I'm like, if I could be like half that creative,
right,
and be able to blend the sounds together like he blends the sounds together.
Transitions are amazing.
Transitions crazy.
I mean, we can play that too. I'll play this right here. Let's see if I can play this through. I appreciate everybody that's still here too.
This is Rescue Me.
Rescue Me, Gamma Podz, Bandcamp. You won't find the same material.
It's not on Spotify, only on Bandcamp. The whole project.
It's so obvious why you like it though.
That bass is awesome. At least to me.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sounds like that little thing.
I think I might have used like a reactor in prison for the bass. I just filtered that trap producer. Don't get caught in the trap. Shout out to Rap Rats.
I had to do it. Beautiful. I hope this is coming through the stream okay.
I hear it pretty well in the headphones.
Okay.
Slow, but still audible.
Beauty. Yeah, that's a dope track for sure. And this other guy, Sam
Gellatry.
How do you spell that?
I think it's Gellaitry. But you can go to Temple. Name of that track is the one I really love is called Temple.
Temple?
Yes.
By Sam? Okay.
By Sam Gellatry.
By Sam.
And this, I think it's off his first project. I think he's got like 3 projects or 4 projects, and all of them are great.
It's actually a YouTube video, so I might be able to play it right
Yeah,
from there.
because he produced that Selection under the Selection label, and it's not on his Spotify. It's only under Selection or YouTube is where you can find it. To the glide on those 808s. Disco break. This transition is awesome.
Let's do something like this.
We can. That disco funk.
just use Temple as a template. Okay.
Crazy.
That's nice.
And I think he started producing at like 13, 14 years old. I think he's in his 20s now.
Yep. Still young.
But once I heard this, I was like, man, people are doing this with music. Then
Yeah.
what I want to do is not so crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like how it feels long, but short too.
Yeah, it is. Because of so many changes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Sam Gillatry. It's Gellaitry. Anybody who wants to go check that out. Oh, and it's playing it back through. So, yeah. So, let's see. Oh, there's a couple more comments in here. And then probably if we don't have any questions, we'll probably, yeah. That's true. You're right. Yes. Yes. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody for being here. We'll probably close it down now. I want to get the rest of you guys in here. So
Come to Maine.
come to Maine. If we can't get you to Maine, we'll at least get you in the Stream Era collaborations.
Yeah.
So
I plan on being in Stream Era too, so
yes,
I like to work with all you guys at some point in time.
we're gonna make this happen.
Yep.
It's gonna start moving. I mean, I want to take the week off since you're here, but we're gonna get this thing rolling. Everybody's gonna get in on this hopefully, and just do some community collaborations.
I mean, we could be like the first to actually start something new and make it like a global thing to where everybody's doing it.
Completely different.
Yep.
I'll say this, like I said last week, and maybe I even didn't say this last week, but we define these eras when we look back on it, like a bird's eye view.
Yeah.
Like, the vinyl era, it'll never be the same.
Yeah.
Classic hip hop era, it'll never be the same.
Yes. At the start of Stream Era, there was I Will Create and
a bunch of guys,
crazy producers from around the country and around the world.
Because we got to look at it like now, like what is somebody going to be doing in 20 years?
And I think my man I Will proved that it works because Student is in Beijing.
China.
He's in China, and the stream was perfect.
It worked. It actually works.
Yep.
And there's no latency in this broadcast environment. They do all the processing for us.
Mm-hmm.
So they take all of the live content and they process it for us. They don't have to combine things. It gets done in their servers and whatever.
I missed it real time because I was at the grocery store, but as soon as I got home, I threw it on, watched it from beginning to end. But I stopped it and then went to the video. I was like, I got to see the
that was
track.
cool. That
and
was
then came
cool.
back to the video.
That was cool. I'm glad that worked out because that it came in a little hot, so I was able to cut it out. But is somebody in 20 years going to be looking for like a 2019 MacBook? Are they going to be looking for a wireless router from 2019 to get that Stream Era sound?
Yeah.
So
could be.
This is the Stream Era Laboratories. So let's see where we can go, man.
Like you said, we don't know what's going on in between the transfer that's going to affect the sound to where it's like totally.
You'll never get it again.
Yeah.
Right now is an era, the streaming stuff, they're using components and hardware, and it does something to the audio that will never happen any other way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can shoot records across the stream. We can shoot vocalists across the stream. We can shoot. I was just asking student earlier today. Student's going to have some traditional instrumentation from China come over the stream, and I'm going to chop it up in real time on the MPC. So having like access to these different cultures and stuff to get these instruments and to get all these people involved, it's going to be awesome, and I'm excited about it. So and I'm glad other people are. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys for being here. Peace. So from all our families, we'll see you guys next week. Peace, everybody.